In this video, we're going to talk about Sonar setup, and we're going to do that both with a Sonar module as well as setting up your Sonar on your Simrad NSS4 and your NSX units. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about how we set up our Sonar to make sure that we have the right transducers chosen, we have the right channels that are working, and we're going to do that on our NSS4 16 here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go up into our settings menu. We're going to come into boat network. We're going to come into devices. This lists all of our devices that are currently on our network and that are all talking with on it. Again, we talked about in previous videos, the green check marks mean they're all functioning fine. There's no issues. If that was a blue, it could mean more setup. If it was a red, it could mean that it's offline and we'd have to do some looking. But as you can see, besides my autopilot computer, everything is set up green and ready to go. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you would set it up without a Sonar module. This particular boat has a S5100 Sonar module, and it's already been set up, but I'm going to kind of walk you through how if you had just an NSS4, how you would go about setting up those 1 kW dual channel sonar ports that are installed on the back of the unit. So we come into here, this is our device, this is this device, so we're going to come in, we're going to do a drop down, and you can see Echo 1, Echo 2. And you can see that these need to be set up. I'm going to click on setup. Now currently I have these set up as no transducer connected. All of my transducers are connected into my S5100. So if you're running a module, you still would want to go through this setup and make sure that the system is not looking for these sonar ports or looking for a transducer that may be plugged into them, which they're not. They're plugged into a sonar module. If you do have transducers connected, you would come over, touch on transducer connector, go to next, and then this will populate what transducer you would want. In some instances, if you're using the appropriate transducer, which we have, that's called XID, it would identify that automatically. So then when you would come into this page, it would already label out whatever transducer it is. Again, we don't have any transducers plugged into this, so that's why it's asking for us to pick a transducer from the multitude of options, both from Airmar and from Simrad. So again, we don't have a transducer connected on here because it's going through our S5100. So we're going to go next, we're going to go finish, and that's been set up. We're going to do the same thing for channel 2. Make sure that we don't have any transducers connected, which it's highlighted from how we set it up when we did the initial install. If you do have transducers connected, you would come over, touch on transducer connector, go to next, and then this will populate what transducer you would want. In some instances, if you're using the appropriate transducer, which we have, that's called XID, it would identify that automatically. So then when you would come into this page, it would already label out whatever transducer it is. Again, we don't have any transducers plugged into this, so that's why it's asking for us to pick a transducer from the multitude of options, both from Airmar and from Simrad. So again, we don't have a transducer connected on here because it's going through our S5100. So we're going to go next, we're going to go finish, and that's been set up. We're going to do the same thing for channel 2. Make sure that we don't have any transducers connected, which it's highlighted from how we set it up when we did the initial install. We're going to go next. It's going to say no transducer connected. We're okay with that, and we're going to go finish. We're going to collapse that. Keep in mind, we have 2 other MFDs on this boat. So we have our NSX 15 ultra-wide screen, and it's the same thing. That has a single sonar port. We're going to come into setup. Again, we've already set that up. No transducer connected. Next. And finish. The last one we're going to do, which we have on here, is our NSX 9. Come in. It's as easy as hitting setup. No transducer connected. Next. And finish. Now, where we do have our sonars plugged into, our transducers plugged into, is on our S5100 sonar module. This is a three-channel sonar hub with 3 kilowatts potential out of each of our individual channels 1, 2, and 3. So we've already set up channel 1 and 2, but I'm going to go back in and show you what that looks like. So you can see that the unit will automatically recognize that I have an SS175 high-wide 1 kilowatt through-hole transducer. I'm going to hit next. Then I'm going to go into it's going to ask me to put in my vessel draft. So basically, how much of the hull sits below the waterline. Then it's also going to ask me my transducer depth. So that gives us a really good indication when we're underway of what the true depth is between the waterline, the transducer, and the seafloor. And then the offset. For some boats that have a really, really deep keel, you'll want to go into your custom offset and you'll want to adjust that off. So again, it can use that as part of its calculation. For us, the transducer is right in the bottom of the V, so we're good with using that particular setting, which is the draft to the seabed. And then this particular boat generally fishes in 400 feet or less of water, so we have that set up for inland lakes and coastal areas. Obviously, if you're going out further, offshore or really offshore, so up to 1,000 feet or 1,000 feet plus, you would choose those options. And we're done. Echo channel setup is finished. We would do the same thing for Echo 2. For Echo 3, I don't have a third transducer. So when I go in to set that up, I have it as no transducer connected, much like we did on our MFDs. And now that is set up so it's not looking for a transducer in that particular port. That's how we set up Sonar on our new Simrad operating system.